I want to start this whole series with something that happened to me on my hike today. I was out in nature, water right in front of me, the mountains in the background. You can see the clouds going over the mountains. And there was something that I noticed that was in the water that I really couldn't stop thinking about. On the left side of the water, it was completely smooth. Like, of course, you can see the little waves. It was very calm and it was flowing. There was no resistance, there was nothing stopping it, there was no pathways that were blocked. But in the middle, there were rocks, there were trash, there were debris, there was shrubbery all around, and everything was just piled up on one another. That's where you can hear the water running, you can hear how loud it was, you can hear how chaotic it was, but you can also hear the peace in it. And you can hear as well of the water like forcing its way through. But then on the right side, you can see how smooth the water was again. It looked like nothing ever happened. It looked like nothing had even taken place right in the middle. And that thought of what I just saw is exactly how life moves for us. Whether that be in a relationship, whether that be in business, whether that just be in life for you. There are going to be seasons in your life it's going to feel like smooth sailing. You're going to feel like all of your ideas are flowing. You're going to feel like everything is going according to plan for you. You feel like you're on top of the world. There's nothing that could stop you. But then there's going to be that patch. There's going to be that small amount of time. It's going to be that little area in your life that's going to be rough. You are going to have that rough season. You're going to have an obstacle that comes your way. You're going to have a period where everything feels forced for you. But during that time, I don't want you to be thinking that something is permanently wrong. I don't want you thinking that when you're in that middle part that you need to panic, that you need to try to turn around, that you need to quit. Because that little moment, if you were to quit, you'd be quitting right before things start to smooth out for you. I want you to know that that rough patch, that rough time is only temporary for you. It's only a small portion of your life. Things are going to smooth itself out. The universe is going to provide back to you. Things will go smoothly again. But here's what I really want to talk to you guys about, because that same thing that I saw taught me also something else. When things got really quiet out there, and when I mean quiet, I mean extremely quiet. If you ever thinking in those horror movies and you see the tall cornfields and you see all the plants that are as tall as you, and mind you, I'm about 6'2", 6'3". I think I'm 6'2", but people say otherwise. And you have plants that are as tall as me, and you can't see through them because there's so much of it. That is something that is very uncomfortable. That is something that is not very comforting to me. It's not very peaceful. It's very uncomfortable. And I thought it was uncomfortable just because of the fact that all you can hear are the birds that are flying around. You can hear the lizards that are running around in the shrubbery. You can hear the rabbits that are running around. But you can't see any of this. You can't see any of this going on. All you have is the noises that are going on all around you. You have this little pathway that you're walking down, and you can't see anything really to your left and right other than these plants. And so there was a moment in time where I felt like this silence, like this moment, was a threat to me. I felt like something in these bushes, in these whatever plants they were, I felt like something was out there like waiting for me. Like the farther I went down, I felt like something was watching me and waiting for me to get to that other side. Part of me stopped. And I also realized that I felt this exact type of feeling. I felt this exact type of way the very first time that I woke up without my phone and sitting in another room and just sitting down. Even for a few seconds, when my mind gets completely blanked, when I didn't have any agenda, I didn't have any noise going around, I didn't have any external pressures happening, just an open mind, I was terrified. Okay. It's something that's very new to me. It's a new terrain for me. It's a new area for me. Just like the hike was, just like walking through nature was. But before, instead of just sitting in that quiet, instead of sitting in that silence before, immediately I would grab my phone. I would grab something that's familiar to me. I would grab something that I know. I know that I can find some type of enjoyment out of scrolling. I can find some type of enjoyment out of a text or a notification that I'm going to find. But because that emptiness or that blankness or that silence felt very unfamiliar to me, I needed to fill my time with something. And I feel like a lot of us do that on a day-to-day. You know, we don't want to spend time with just ourselves. We don't want to spend time without looking at a notification. We don't want to spend time without hearing somebody else's opinions. You don't want to spend time just with you. And isn't that one of the craziest things? Like, we don't want to just sit in our own life. We want to absorb it with somebody else's because it seems like they're living the most extravagant life. But ultimately, you all are living a very special life, a very unique life, a life that's only designed for you. And you have the ability to create whatever things that you're wanting to do. The things that you need to do is having more intention of how you set your day, of what you want to absorb truly into your mind. Speaking back from personal life, before my day even started, absorbing somebody else's life, I've started to decide what my life would look like. I was designing exactly how my life was going to be. And the design was not the life that was on the screen. The way I was designing my life was stay in bed a little longer, sit down a little bit longer, scroll for a little longer, and be more in tune with what's happening on social media rather than creating what's happening in my own life. And by the time I ever put my phone down, I'm reacting to everything. I'm behind. I'm shaped by everything else but my own intention. Until recently, I'll say maybe about a month and a half, I will wake up, I will have my phone in the kitchen, in the living room, anywhere else other than right next to my bed. I won't touch the phone and I'll walk into the second bedroom, sit down, crisscross, even though it hurts, sit there for about 5 minutes and just sit, just relax. I'm giving my mind about 5 minutes before everything else gets any type of access to me. This is a time that we need to be a bit more selfish for what we want into our own life. After I'll come sit right here, right where I'm sitting right now. If I could turn the camera around and show you exactly what I'm seeing, I would. But I feel like I'm gonna mess everything up. But when you get to observe and actually just see life right in front of you, and you're able to be in it, you're able to smell it, you're able to see it, you're able to hear it, you're able to feel the things that are going on, you will have a much different perspective for how you see life, for how you see emptiness. Because ultimately that blank, that quiet isn't emptiness. It's a clarity for you. It's something for you so that before any noise gets in, you are able to think out things of your own. When you actually start your day that way, things feel completely different. And it's not because of some perfect routine, because sometimes it won't be 5 minutes, sometimes it may be 3, sometimes it may be 10, sometimes it may be 20. But it's just because you gave yourself a little bit of time that you were actually in control of. And that's where this whole series starts. Because if you can't own the first 10 minutes of your day, I promise you, you can't own anything else we're going to talk about here in this series. I'll see you on episode 2.